What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Nerdy Mark channel. I'm Sid the Nerdy Mark, and today I have your review for Raw and SmackDown for this week. Now, before we get started, some very sad news. This Monday, Jim The Anvil Neidhart did pass away. He was famously known as tag teaming with his brother-in-law, Bret the Hitman Hart, as part of the Hart Foundation. He had a long career in WWE as well as WCW. He even was in TNA for some time and even had a brief stint out in New Japan. The cause of death is believed to be head injury, which caused many seizures. He was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, so WWE did give a beautiful tribute package to the Anvil, and it's pretty sad, definitely losing a pioneer of the wrestling business. So Jim The Anvil Neidhart, the Nerdy Mark, thanks you for your contributions to wrestling. You are definitely gone, but never forgotten. As my good friend Tim Farley from Armbar Audio would say, rest in power, Anvil. You will be missed. So Raw does begin with Ronda Rousey coming in and first delivering a eulogy in honor of Jim The Anvil Neidhart. Natalya is not here because she was scheduled to face Alexa Bliss, but Ronda brings out her replacement, Ember who we haven't seen in weeks. My goodness, where has she been? Alexa Bliss and Alicia Fox come out. Alicia is very confused because she's wearing a bunch of seaweed on top of her head, and she's wearing her jacket that says Captain Fox all the way from Survivor Series. Alexa Bliss cuts a way too long of a promo and then gets in the ring, and we have Ember versus Alexa Bliss. A very decent match, good way to open up the show. It did end when Ember did hit the Eclipse onto Alexa, goes for the pin, but it's broken up by Alicia Fox, giving Ember the DQ win. The heels try to beat up on Ember, but Ronda comes in and she beats up on the heels. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, during the promo that Alexa Bliss was giving, she had hired a bunch of security guards. And this happened before the match, but Alexa did beat them all up, and it was pretty cool. I love seeing it, especially the last guy who she basically stared at, and he literally just hauled ass out of the ring, which was funny as hell. So that was good stuff. Before we continue, I did forget to mention that Coach is not on commentary this week. Thank God. Instead, he is replaced by Renee Young, and might I say that she has done a damn fine job on commentary. I know that she did some commentary on NXT, but honestly, from her work here this week, I would be totally fine with her replacing Coach permanently. So WWE, make it happen. Up next, Constable Baron Corbin has booked 2 matches, one for himself and one for Finn Balor, in preparation for their match at SummerSlam. Constable Baron Corbin picks Tyler Breeze as his victim, and Tyler does get a little bit of offense in, gets a couple of licks in and everything, but of course he's no match for the bigger and more powerful Constable Baron Corbin, who pins him with a deep 6, not even an end of days. He hits a deep 6 and Tyler Breeze is pinned. Right after that, Baron Corbin swerves us and says that it's not going to be Finn Balor's opponent, but it's going to be opponents. So there's 2 of them. So it's going to be a handicap match for Finn Balor. He's going to be taking on Jinder Mahal and Kevin Owens. Kurt Angle comes out and evens out the odds, does his best impression of Teddy Long. Holla holla, we got ourselves a tag match, players. And it is revealed that Finn Balor's tag partner is Braun Strowman. They have a pretty decent match. I enjoyed it. One cool spot that I liked was when Braun Strowman was doing his running around tackle thing. He uses Sunil Singh as a battering ram to hit Kevin Owens with. That was fun stuff. But he does hit the running power slam onto Jinder Mahal to win for the good guys. And then surprise attack from Baron Corbin to Finn Balor. He hits an end of days onto Finn Balor. Next up, we did have someone who I can only guess is an indie talent named Ricky Roberts. He's dressed up in a cowboy outfit with a guitar, and he says he's a huge fan of Elias, and he says that he hopes to one day be in the Country Music Awards and Elias to be there to see him win that award. Elias comes out, he plugs his merch and his concert and everything. He mentions that he has sold out Madison Square Garden 3 times. Definitely not a rib on any other promotion. This was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. Bobby Lashley came out and he says to Ricky Roberts that he needs to find a new gimmick. He's getting ready for the match, but Ricky Roberts hits Bobby with his guitar, breaking it over his back. Bobby is somehow invincible to this because he's the Incredible Hulk, and he beats up on this poor indie talent. That was kind of confusing for me. I don't understand where they're going with this feud. They're not even booked for a match at SummerSlam, so I don't even know why these two are fighting anyways. Backstage, we did have the B team trying to calculate their odds for winning this match. They have definitely been talking to Scott Steiner. They basically come up with the fact that there's only a 33 1/3% chance. They do go out into the ring and they have their match. It's the B team versus the Deleters versus the Revival. And the Revival do hit a heart attack as a tribute to Jim The Anvil Neidhart, so that was good stuff. This was alright. It was pretty cool. I loved the end spot where the Revival hit the Shatter Machine onto Bray Wyatt, only for Curtis Axel to tag himself in and push the Revival out of the ring for the B team to pick up the win. And it is of course announced that the Revival will be taking on the B team for the Raw Tag Team Championships on the kickoff show. So the SmackDown Live tag match is going to be on the main show, and the Raw Tag Team Championships is going to be on the kickoff show. Next up, we do have Roman Reigns making his way into the ring, because of course he does, and he cuts a promo on, you guessed it, Brock Lesnar. He's sick and tired of Brock Lesnar. He's sick and tired of hearing about him, and he says that he's going to send Brock Lesnar back into the UFC and shove him straight up Dana White's ass. Please don't do that, Roman. That sounds very painful, and you could probably go to jail for that. Paul Heyman interrupts, and he's looking a lot more fresh. He's looking clean shaven. He's happy about something. He's quoting the New Day, saying it's a new day. Yes, it is. He basically is offering Roman to be a Heyman guy, to which a lot of the crowd did pop. There were a lot of yes chants. Roman Reigns does say no. Paul Heyman does mention he was a teenager. He mentions Roman Reigns' father and uncle and that their tag team. He even says something to Roman in Samoan, which does kind of affect Reigns a little bit, and Roman's still kind of iffy about it. So Heyman hands Roman a piece of paper saying that, you know, this is just some sort of agreement, so just think about it. So Roman is reading through it, but then Paul Heyman takes out some pepper spray and sprays Roman's eyes, and then out comes the beast, Brock Lesnar. So this past 3 weeks has been a ruse all along, and they were always in cahoots with each other. They are never going to break up. Roman Reigns does get beaten up by Brock Lesnar. Brock does put a submission on him and leaves, comes back in, hits an F5 for good measure, and leaves with Paul Heyman. So why were we doing this for the past 3 weeks? Why were we teasing a Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman split? It was perfect, actually. I don't know why they even had to end it here. But anyway, I do think that Paul Heyman will turn on Lesnar, and maybe he was just playing along for now, and then maybe at the end of the match, maybe he'll turn on Brock. Maybe he'll make Kevin Owens a Heyman guy. Who knows? Maybe Kevin Owens will actually win his match at SummerSlam. I doubt it, but if he does, that would be cool. I'd like to see Kevin Owens as a Heyman guy. That would be interesting. We now have Mojo Rawley teaming up with the Authors of Pain to take on Bobby Roode and Titus Worldwide in a blink and you miss it match. Bobby Roode beats Mojo Rawley with a glorious DDT for the good guys. That's all I have to say. Let's move on. Up next, Ruby Riott taking on Sasha Banks. Ruby Riott back in the ring. Good to see her again. She's looking a lot tanner than she was before she left. But this is a pretty decent match. I enjoyed it. Ruby Riott did win. And with the roll-up on Sasha Banks. So that was cool. I'm glad to see the Riot Squad back together again. Hopefully they can move away from the Sasha Bayley thing and kind of maybe go on to something else. So throughout the night, Seth Rollins put on his best impression of Carmen Sandiego, making us all wonder where in the world he was. That was the entire narrative, and of course Kurt Angle cited travel plans as the reason for him not being here yet. But Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre do come out towards the end of the show. They cut a promo on Seth Rollins saying that he is a fighter and a fighting champion, but he just couldn't handle the two of us. So he's obviously not wanting to face us at SummerSlam. So Kurt, hand over the contract, let me sign it, and this is going to be a Seth Rollins forfeit. So Kurt reluctantly hands Dolph the contract. Dolph signs it. He tells Kurt that we are done, but as he's about to leave, we do hear Seth Rollins' music. Seth comes out, he apologizes and says that he has been there for a while and that he was dealing with travel plans, just not his. And he points to a clause in the contract saying that Seth can have someone in his corner as well. So he says, if you're going to have that Scottish psychopath on your corner, I might as well have a lunatic on mine. And who comes out? That's right, a returning Dean Ambrose. And my goodness, he is looking good, man. He's looking jacked. He's got a haircut. He's grown out his beard. He's looking like a proper lunatic. Like, this is exactly what he should be looking like. I think it really enhances the lunacy. Honestly, it looks like he's been hanging out with James McAvoy from Split. He's been hanging out with him and getting some workout tips or something. So he's looking really good, looking really jacked, and a lot more badass. Like, he's like just come out of prison or something. Seth and Dean come in, they clean house. Dean's punches are looking way more vicious. His dirty deeds looks a lot more painful this time, and he is like just going out there looking like he's gonna kill you. So I loved every single minute of it. So Seth does sign the contract, and that's how this show ends. SmackDown Live does begin with Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and the SmackDown Women's Champion Carmella making their way into the ring. They cut a promo on each other. Everyone saying, I'm going to beat you, I'm going to beat you. Carmella, like, I'm going to retain because I beat Charlotte Flair twice and Asuka twice, and I'm the best thing ever. Charlotte calls her Carmella a diva in a women's world, which is true. Carmella does actually take it all in and really uses it to her advantage, which was pretty good. Out comes Paycheck. Did you miss her? And she says that, Carmella, why don't you go do what you know best, and that is go talk. So go on commentary. She pretty much orders her to go on commentary. She doesn't really need to do that because Carmella will either way. Charlotte and Becky are put in a tag team match against Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, and this is a pretty good match. I did like it a lot. Carmella obviously on commentary, teaming up with Corey Graves to make fun of Byron Saxton. The match does end when, this time around, as a, I guess, 50-50 booking in a sense, Becky Lynch hitting the disarm her onto Mandy Rose to win for the good guys. And then backstage, we did have a promo between Charlotte and Becky. They do the T thing, but Charlotte is looking a little bit concerned. So this match looks very, very intriguing. We then have the Bludgeon Brothers coming out to supposedly have a match with a team called the Triple Threat, which is, I guess, a local talent. And they don't even have the match. They just beat these guys up and go away. So I don't know what the point of all this was. Up next, we did have the New Day taking on Sanity, and it was, of course, Kofi Kingston's birthday. So happy belated birthday, Kofi Kingston. And pretty good match between all of them. Killian Dane has some new attire. This was pretty good, though. I did enjoy it. But the match did end when Xavier Woods and Big E hit the up, up, down, down onto Killian Dane in his new wrestling gear and win again. Fuck this fuckers, fuck! Next up, Aiden English is in the ring, and he is singing a song about how he's sorry about disappointing his friends. Lana and Rusev are watching rather dispassionately in the back. English is, of course, taking on Andrade Cien Almas. Almas does beat him with the knees and the hammerlock DDT pretty handily. Vega and Almas cut a promo on Rusev and Lana, who come out and say Rusev Day and Lana is the best, Lana number one. Lana has her fleeting coming in and going out. So yeah, they are going to have a match at SummerSlam during the kickoff. It's Rusev and Lana versus Almas and Vega, so that should be interesting. We then had Jeff Hardy taking on Shelton Benjamin in a very solid match. I really enjoyed this. It's been a while since we've seen Shelton Benjamin in action, but he has not missed a beat. But the match did end when Jeff Hardy hit the Swanton Bomb onto Shelton Benjamin to win the match. Afterwards, Shinsuke Nakamura interrupted. He came in. Jeff was kind of looking at him and looking behind him to see if Randy Orton was there. But of course, Shelton Benjamin did try to get the upper hand. Hardy does knock Benjamin off the apron. Nakamura tries to capitalize. He kicks Jeff Hardy in the head. Nakamura sets up for the Kinshasa, but Jeff does convert it into a twist of fate. Swanton Bomb. Jeff Hardy looks tall. All the while Randy Orton is looking behind the curtain, you know, like kind of all sneaky. Hopefully not with his hands inside his pants. I'm looking forward to this match, even though they have been spending more time building Jeff Hardy's eventual match with Randy Orton than they have been with Jeff Hardy versus Nakamura. Even though that's the match that's about to happen on Sunday, they're building a match that's happening later on, possibly Hell in a Cell. I don't know what they're thinking. I'm still looking forward to this match. Hopefully there's like an actual finish this time around. It is now time for our main event. It's funny that a lot of these main events have not really been matches. They've all been promos setting up for a match at SummerSlam these past couple of weeks. AJ Styles came out and cut a promo on Samoa Joe, talking about how he stabbed him in the back when he attacked him a couple of weeks ago during the contract signing. And then now he, of course, has really hit home when he talked about his family. So he's going to beat Joe. Joe comes out and he tells AJ Styles that he has a letter from a fan who says this person used to love AJ Styles, but now they don't anymore. But that this person agrees with Samoa Joe's words because they were true. And it is signed Wendy Styles. This is either AJ's daughter or AJ's wife. I'm not really sure. That's kind of how SmackDown ended. It ended very abruptly. So that was kind of weird for me. So as I was sitting down and editing my Raw and SmackDown video, this video that you're watching now, obviously, I forgot to mention the biggest highlight of SmackDown Live, which were the video packages between The Miz and Daniel Bryan. The entire thing, that was really, really good, very well executed, and I would definitely say they were definitely a highlight of SmackDown Live today. So if you haven't watched them, I would suggest you go out and seek them out. I loved all three parts. This is definitely a great way to build up this match, as opposed to throwing fake babies and Miz calling Daniel Bryan a baby and whatnot. That was just really childish. This was a much better way to build up their match for SummerSlam. So go check it out if you still haven't. Overall, I actually thought Raw was the better show this week. I really thought that their go-home angles were a little bit more impactful than SmackDown. SmackDown was still a very solid show, but I kind of enjoyed Raw a little bit more this week. I'm going to say Raw is getting better because every time I do, I seem to jinx it. So I'm just going to say it was good this week. We will see what happens after SummerSlam. But let's get into some highlights. So the first highlight I do want to say, Ronda Rousey's eulogy for Jim The Anvil Neidhart. Enjoyed, of course, the promo package they played for Neidhart. The match between Ember and Alexa Bliss, that was good stuff. I did like the Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman segment, even though it did end up being all a ruse this past couple of weeks. The whole tension between Brock and Paul, it was still good because, Roman was pretty decent on the mic. Paul is amazing on the mic. And, of course, Dean Ambrose is back and looking better than ever, looking more shredded and looking leaner and meaner and all that stuff. And, of course, I have to mention Renee Young on commentary. That was a big highlight for me. As far as SmackDown is concerned, the promo in the beginning was fantastic between all three women. It was really good. I did like the match, too, the tag team match between Charlotte and Becky versus, I guess, Absolution. Shelton Benjamin versus Jeff Hardy was really good. I did also enjoy the New Day versus Sanity, even though Sanity lost. So that pretty much concludes another review of Raw and SmackDown. Of course, this was the go-home edition of Raw and SmackDown. Let me know what you guys thought about both shows in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on social media and tell your friends about the Nerdy Mark. And don't forget, this Sunday, I am going live on YouTube for SummerSlam. The link is in the description below. Set your reminder, and I hope to see you guys there. But until then, this is Sid signing off. You guys take care. Bye-bye.